There we can see this is the plane this time. This is the plane with Sophie Petronin, the French aid worker, on board. She was the last French hostage being held anywhere in the world. And here she is back on French soil for the first time in 4 years. She has been held in Mali by jihadists since 2016. She was kidnapped while she was working. She was working with orphans in northern Mali, and she said she's keen to get back there and resume her work. President Macron is there to greet her as she comes back to France for the first time in 4 years. And is that Gérard Collomb walking around with President Macron there?
Yes,
make a mistake. It's difficult to tell with the face mask these days.
No, that is Jean-Yves Le Drian, who is the French foreign minister.
My apologies, Jean-Yves Le Drian.
With Emmanuel Macron coming to greet Sophie Petronin. Now, the interesting thing here will be
some family members, I would imagine, as well.
To see whether she's actually going to make a statement when she comes down from the plane. She will obviously be talking to President Macron. Then she will go for a full medical checkup.
Right.
Imagine, after 4 years of being kept hostage, you're going to want to do that to find out.
And she has visibly aged over that.
Yeah, you have to see what sort of state you're in, and then be sent off, I think, for a period of prolonged rest to get over this. And there will also be psychological help, because when one is kept hostage for so many years, coming back to France, you can imagine the difference in being held hostage in Mali for 4 years and then coming back to France, back to a sort of normal way of life that is not really normal for her. She's going to need psychological backup and help to get over this period of hostage taking. And what is quite curious here is when you've listened to Sophie Petronin talking since yesterday, she is in absolutely has no anger against her kidnappers at all, and even saying that as far as she's concerned, the word jihadist means someone who is at war, and they're at war because they want to set up their own political party, and she can understand that. So almost taking the defense of her kidnappers, which sometimes can happen when one is kept hostage for so long, and especially someone like Sophie Petronin, all those years in captivity in Mali.
And there she is coming down the stairs, still wearing the white garments she was wearing in Bamako last night. Sophie Petronin, 75-year-old French aid worker, back on French soil for the first time in 4 years. There she is, being welcomed by the French President Emmanuel Macron and Jean-Yves Le Drian as well. There we see. And she cuts a really diminutive figure, doesn't she?
Well, you can imagine what she must be feeling. I think elation, probably, shock, even maybe a little bit confused about what is actually happening, taken away from this captivity that she's been used to for so long, face to face with the French president at a cold, rainy airport in Paris.
And thrust into the
a totally different situation. But I think probably relieved that it is all over, and especially like her son, actually wondering whether this is actually true and she's not dreaming what's going on.
Yeah, and he's been through a terrible ordeal as well, hasn't he? Thinking about what could be happening. So that's her son there, isn't it, with the red?
Yeah, Sebastian Shadow, who all through these 4 years has never given up hope about
hugging her relative,
getting his mother released.